Rio, we do have quorum now.
Thank you, Rohan. Get to switch on my camera real quick and we can do this. Okay, getting out the hammer. I know you missed it. This meeting will now come to order. We will move to the previous minutes with our VPI.
Okay, are you able to hear me, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we had begun the last meeting by sharing the minutes of the previous meeting, the emergency meeting, which was held on August 20th. The minutes were then approved by the Senate. Then we moved on to the special order and educational presentation. The first presentation was Keys to Parliamentary Procedure, which was presented by Dr. Julie Harlan. Then we had moved on to the Senator Orientation presentation, which was presented by our Vice President of University Affairs, Chandler Wilkins, and our Speaker or Executive Vice President Rio. Moving on to the legislative reports, our Speaker Rio had mentioned that the GPSG Governance Board was looking for an advocacy committee co-chair for student affairs. More on this shall follow in this meeting. And he had also mentioned that the GPSG and SGA, that is the Student Government Association, is looking to form a task force. And if any of the senators are interested, they should contact Rio. The next point on the agenda was mine. I had just mentioned that if anybody has any issues with your senator role, please feel free to contact me. Moving on, Chandler had shared a couple of forms with you. The first one was an external committee sign-up sheet, and the second was an internal committee sign-up sheet. For the reports of committee chairs, CJ Godkin, our Legislative Affairs Chair, had shared some instructions regarding voter registration. A follow-up email on this was sent to the senators on Wednesday, that is 2nd September. For new business, we had the confirmation from the Senate regarding the parliamentarian. The Senate had elected Nathan Shelley, senator from the Department of Anthropology, as the first parliamentarian of GPSG. For final announcements, Rio had mentioned about a project from Mays Innovation Center.
Thank you, Rohan. Do we have a motion to approve the previous minutes as read?
I move to approve the previous minutes as read.
I second that.
Thank you both. Motion passes. The previous minutes have been approved, and we will move on to the next order of business. We are going to do a little bit of bouncing around here for the instance of time. So we are going to pass this over to our president, Utej Vatapalli, who's going to provide some updates that he has before he has to go. Utej?
Thank you, Rio. So to start off, on 8th September, President Young, Provost Ferricky, Dr. Karen Butler-Ferry, a few representatives from CAUSE and myself, we had a meeting. So one of the main, so here are the highlighted portions from the meeting. One is that people who have been charged late fees will be receiving an email, and if the charges were charged by no fault of your own, you will have a mechanism to get rid of the charges, and so keep an eye out for that. For architecture students who have mentioned that they are being offered as, their positions are being offered as GANs, Dr. Butler-Ferry is going to set up a meeting with architecture department to look into this matter. And this kind of pattern was also visible with TTI, which is the Texas A&M Transportation Institution. And Dr. Butler-Ferry is also going to look into those. Moving on to a different announcement, CAPS has announced a Suicide Awareness Month event. Please feel free to check that link out and offer your support. The pandemic has posed weird challenges for mental health, and we want to make sure that all our Aggies and all our grad Aggies are safe. So if you know anyone who could benefit from this month, please feel free to recommend them to this. Moving on to another point, Rule 10.4.2 which is a rule change request. So currently, feel free to go through this. Currently, the grades, when, for instance, if a person takes a grade to improve and it goes from C to a higher grade, then the C gets replaced. But in the event that a person takes up a course where he got a previous C and takes it again, both the C's are counting towards their GPA. And this is something that is hindering graduate students and needs a rule change. So here is the current rule and the new rule that's being proposed, juxtaposed. So please go through that. And if you all have any thoughts, please let me know. And that will be the end of my announcements. Please feel free to unmute if you have any thoughts on all the things that I've announced.
Okay. Utej, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's one thing that's going to come up as part of announcements is the yearbook committee is looking for people who can who want to share their stories and have those stories in the yearbook. So I've attached the links of the people of the contacts you can go for. So I'm sure again it's going to come up as part of announcements, but that's another thing to keep going.
Thank you, Tej. Okay, folks, we have our first presentation, and it's actually our only presentation. So it's going to be from Miss Marilyn Yeager, who is the Associate Director of Graduate Student Services. You may know her from the TAMU Career Center. She's going to talk to us today about job hunting in the COVID-19 environment, which I know has been a concern for many of us, and she'll have some good information to share. So I will now pass this over to Miss Marilyn Yeager.
Thank you very much. If you could enable the screen sharing. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Try to share your screen now, Miss Yeager.
Let me try one more time. It says it's disabled. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yes, ma'am. So what I'm going to do is make you the host temporarily, Miss Yeager.
Ooh.
I'm giving you the keys to the cockpit. Now you should be able to share your screen, and
I'll try not to get heady.
No, enjoy it. It's fun.
With this power. Okay, is that showing correctly? Are you seeing the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Well, howdy everyone. I hope that you are all doing well and adapting to these interesting times. And I'm really grateful to be here with you tonight so early in the semester, because I really want to share information about how the Career Center is available to you virtually to support you and support the students in your departments in these really unusual times. Today, I want to start with some of the highlights of big events that are going on this fall semester that your students might be interested in. And then I'd like to leave time which can be expanded really to answer any of the questions that you have, either about the video that maybe you were able to view ahead of time that gives an overview of Career Center services, or about any information that I'll share with you tonight. And if there is time, I've just tried to narrow it down to 5 main tips about how to job hunt in the COVID environment. And I will give you my slides. So if for some reason we don't get to that, you'll still have that information. But I'd really like this to be as interactive as possible. And Rio, if you could help me by just letting me know if there's questions in the chat, and I'll try to address it as I'm going through. Okay, so maybe what would have been unimaginable a year ago, all of the career fairs this fall are virtual. All 17 of them are in a virtual environment. And we've gone through our first kind of big wave of engineering and science being the same week. And then next week we have another kind of second wave. You can see all of the career fairs that are happening next week. To see the full list of career fairs, you can go to our events calendar. If you have not participated in a virtual career fair yet, I truly believe that there are some benefits. It is different than what you've probably experienced in the past. But what I think is the real advantage is that all of the distance learners can now participate and engage in these events. And even for the students that are local, you don't physically have to take the time to go to a particular location. So if you have an hour or two gap in your day, you don't have the travel time, you can just hop into the fair. So I think that's a wonderful benefit of this. And you can get in 3 lines for companies at the same time. So in a traditional fair, you'd get in 1 line, you'd go to the front, then you'd get in another line, work your way up to the front. You can be waiting in 3 lines simultaneously. And while you're waiting, you can pop out and get into a group chat with another company or one of those companies, so that it's the use of your time, I feel, is very efficient. And for me, I'm soft-spoken, so it was always an effort for me to talk loud enough so that I could be heard over the roar in the room. These are one-on-one Zoom chats, so I'm sure you've all had lots of experience with Zoom by now. So it should be a more comfortable way of interacting. You have that recruiter's full attention in the meeting. And another feature that I really like is that you can make notes within the platform after you have each conversation. So it kind of encourages you to write down the pertinent points before you go to your next chat. I have a couple of screenshots just in case you have not seen the virtual career fair platform. It's in higheraggies.com, launched the Higher Aggies system, and then if you go to events and then career fairs, that's where you're going to see all of the career fairs listed. This, I opened up the engineering career fair. There is a button where you click to register to attend the fair, and when you show up the day of the fair, you turn your chat profile on. You can research all of the employers that are attending, and if you have difficulty and you need help, you can click the information button, and there's Career Center staff to help you. One other benefit that I think is very important is you can see all of the current jobs that are posted by that company in Higher Aggies, and you can see all of the job leads, all of the previous positions that those companies have posted. So if you look at what they've recruited for in the past and they don't have that position open at this moment in time, it doesn't mean that they don't have a need for that. It might be that they're delaying the posting of that a little bit. So you can really demonstrate your initiative and your interest in the company to know what types of positions they do recruit for, and then demonstrate why you would be the perfect person to join their team. And another interesting feature, you can click this little star before the fair, so recruiters know before the fair that you are interested in them, and they have the ability to reach out to you. So that's kind of a nice feature. So we are in the career fairs portion of the website. If you drop down one line to information sessions, I believe that these are the most, in my opinion, the most underutilized resource that we offer to students. These are information sessions that are available on that link I just showed you over the next 3 days. And if you look at these companies, they're major national, international companies that need, have many different business and recruiting needs. And these information sessions are the opportunity to learn more about their company, learn more what their recruiting needs are, so that you can best position yourself to share with them why you would be a great addition to their team and how you can help them accomplish their work. I just listed only one for GM Financial, but it's been a trend that we're seeing a lot this semester of companies that are giving sort of educational series. And this one will also be next week, but there have been quite a few that have occurred. I would just like to point out that there will be 4 graduate career panels in a career panel series on these 4 different topics. So, the whole intent of this series is to help graduate students become more aware of non-academic career options that are available to them, and then there will be experts from each of these fields that can tell you more about their career and how you can prepare. I sincerely hope that if you have not heard about individual development program resources, that you do learn about them. And I hope that you all, I hope that all graduate students will create your own IDP. It really is the whole career exploration process, starting from assessment, identifying your strengths and weaknesses and your skills, building up those skills, exploring careers, networking with professionals, and then applying for positions. So it's a way for you to identify careers and begin to explore those, and then go through the process of choosing the career that you want to pursue before you graduate. We have a 4-week session in October. The intention is to form a learning community so students can go through this career exploration process with your peers. So you can register at the TexAg link. Each semester we offer career development and professional development topics. These are the workshops that I've scheduled this fall, but if you want to see the full list of workshops and events, you can go to this link on our website. So those were the major kind of events and activities that I hope that you will share with your students. I'm wondering if you have any questions for me, either about the overview of Career Center Services video that you all received, or if you have any questions about what I just shared. And I see that Deborah has raised her hand. Do you want to unmute?
Yeah, hi, Ms. Yeager. How are you doing? Thank you for your presentation. I would highly encourage everyone to kind of like check out the My IDP program. I was in that. It was very helpful for myself. But But my question is pretty much, are there any plans for Career Center to kind of like create graduate specific career fairs? I know that there is like a research career fair, but that's more kind of towards national labs.
National labs.
Yeah, but other than that, is there any kind of like career fair for grad students?
You know, it's really interesting that you would bring that up today. I was in a staff meeting, and for the first time, a discussion began about a universal general career fair. So instead of having like engineering and business and liberal arts, and you know, that you would have one. And I thought that was so interesting because we've kind of siloed them in the past. But when I heard that, it made me wonder, are we now at a point with this virtual technology that we could have a graduate focused career fair? In the past, there are 22 career fairs this fall, and it kind of got to be that, you know, adding additional career fairs on top, like would we get the attendance and the participation from the recruiters that we wanted? But we're like in a whole new world right now, and I think this is the perfect time to ask that question and really think about how could we do that? I mean, it could be across the board graduate students, and then it would be more time efficient for different companies to participate. So I hear your question. It's just so interesting that you would ask today, because for the very first time today, I thought, I wonder what that would look like. But I think we are in a different world now than I think anyone could have imagined a year ago. And companies are scrambling to try to figure out how to recruit in this new environment. And some companies, you know, we're having good participation in the career fairs that we've had this fall, but we know that other companies are kind of holding back a little bit. There's so much going on with the pandemic, with the unemployment rate, and it also being a presidential election year. So lots of factors kind of up in the air. So I guess that's a long way of saying I think this is a great time with all that change to think about adding something new. Good question.
Does anybody have any other questions for Ms. Yeager?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Regarding what Deborah just said, I was thinking maybe having a grad career fair that has some more of a focus for international students, considering many grad students are international students. And at least when the career fair, like the engineering career fair is like normally like in previous years, it's hard to figure out which companies actually hire international students. So that was just a suggestion.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think this is where I encourage students to really use our website as a source of data, because say for the engineering career fair, if a company is primarily recruiting bachelor level students, they are not probably going to say that they will sponsor an H-1B visa. But if you do more research into the company and the needs of the company, and you realize that they or you look at either My Visa Jobs or Career Shift or Going Global, and you see that a company has sponsored H-1B visas in the past, and you can see the job title, you know, and if you fall in that category, and then you do more research on the company, then when you talk to that recruiter or when you network with professionals with that company, you already know there's a possibility, if you have the right skills that match for what their needs are, that it puts, I mean, I'm very conscious as I'm saying this, that that's extra work. It's more than just reading black and white what is in a job posting. It really requires more initiative and more time. So I'm conscious that I'm suggesting that you take more time to do that. I mean, you kind of do the best you can do. But if you do that, if you take that initiative and you have those conversations, you're not going to have much competition, right? So I think it's really worth the effort. But I'm also very mindful of how much effort that takes. So in short, that's a second, as long as we're opening up this discussion, how can we do things differently? Thinking about how can we help international students specifically. And it might be that you could combine both, because if a recruiter or not, I'm just talking out loud, but if it's a career fair where they're specifically focused on hiring graduate students, that probably changes the conversation about whether a company would sponsor or not. That's very different from, you know, thinking of hiring primarily undergraduate students. So it might be possible. I don't know. It's just my first thoughts on it. Because the more you can demonstrate that you have a unique skill set, the more likely it is that a company would sponsor you. Good question.
Okay, we have time for one more question for Ms. Yeager. Going once.
You know where to find me.
Yes. So everybody, Ms. Yeager's email, I believe it's myeager@tamu.edu. Is that correct, Ms. Yeager?
Yes.
Yes. So anybody who has further questions after this meeting or during the meeting, feel free to shoot her an email. She's very responsive and always very helpful.
I try to be responsive.
I think you're great. Ms. Yeager, do you see the Rio that has the picture on it? Not this one that's talking, but the different one.
I see the Rio. Well, actually, I guess my view, I only have 4 people.
How about this one?
Oh, I see. That's the one with the picture. Yes.
Would you please make this one the host?
Yes. Make host. Yes. Yes. Okay. And can I show one more slide?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm just going to give you the top 5, and then you can look at all of the data behind. But finish your degree. Well, the next slide shows it even more. The percent, the higher your education level, the lower your percent of unemployment rate. So my first tip is finish that degree. Absolutely, now more than ever, it's really important to do cold, meaning reaching out to someone you don't know. You can know them through the Aggie Network. So it's not completely cold, but it's someone that you've never talked to before. And try to understand what they do, what their company needs, and talk your way into meeting with a hiring manager and then demonstrating that you're the person that they have to have on their team because you can help them with their work. This is a fabulous time from those conversations, if you realize you need to strengthen skills, and that's one thing that the IDP resources can also help you with. We have LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, Lynda, there are certificates. Gain experience. It does not have to be an internship, but just something that gives you experience so you're building competence to make yourself a stronger applicant. And then I just want to say, please take advantage of the Career Center resources. That what I come up so many times as I'm talking to students, they're using one resume, one cover letter, and broadcasting it everywhere. Please don't do that. It's a lot more efficient if you tailor it for each application. Your number of applications is going to go down, but your response rate to those applications will improve. So that in a heartbeat is, and then if you need to contact me, my information is there, and I'll give you the slides, Rio, if you want to share them with everybody.
Yes, ma'am. I believe the slides were posted in the materials and handouts folder, and that's within this week's agenda for those of you who have access to the Google Drive. So, Ms. Yeager, thank you so much for your presentation today. To the Senate body, would you like to unmute and thank Ms. Yeager?
Thank you, Ms. Yeager.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Well, that was great. Going to reshare my screen again, and we'll move on to the next order of business. Is Dr. Schweller in attendance?
I am. I'm here.
Take it away, ma'am.
All right. Howdy. I'm Dr. Morgan Schweller. I'm the Professional Development Coordinator for the Office of Graduate and Professional Studies. Our team, the recruiting, student success, professional development team, kind of alternates who comes and sees what's going on and shares announcements for the Senate meetings. So I just have a few. So one, I know the president already touched base on this a little bit, but it is moving forward, the late fee reimbursement for graduate assistants. GAs should have already received that email from our office. And if there are questions on that or issues, please just email us at ogaps-info@tamu.edu. Tomorrow, Wednesday, September 16th from 5 to 6 p.m., we're actually holding a town hall listening session on graduate student mental health and well-being for specific invitations were sent to the graduate and professional student government and graduate student organization leadership last week. Thank you to those who have already registered. I really hope that more of you will be able to attend and can register. The link is in the chat. The flyer, I think, is somewhere in a folder. Just to kind of give a little bit more detail about what it is, the goal is to collect as many ideas as possible about potential challenges, stressors, resources related to graduate student mental health and well-being. We will kind of synthesize the general ideas and themes from this event into a summary document for the Associate Provost, Dr. Butler-Perry. And the goal is really to, one, improve the graduate student experience at Texas A&M, and then two, Dr. Butler-Perry will be participating in a convening hosted by the Council of Graduate Schools. So if you're not familiar with the Council of Graduate Schools, it's like a professional society for graduate education. So over 500 universities are members of that cohort, and they will be having a special convening to kind of really just outline commitments that all the universities will make towards graduate student mental health and well-being. So y'all's participation in this town hall will not only impact, Texas A&M University, but could potentially impact this overarching discussion and commitments by the Council of Graduate Schools as a whole. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to message me in the chat or ask away. It will be a 1-hour session tomorrow evening. We will switch between small group discussions and breakout rooms using Padlet to really try to get as much information as we possibly can, and then some big group, whole group discussions to kind of synthesize what we're all talking about. Other announcements: on Thursday, we are having a special webinar by Dr. Owens from the National Institutes of Health on career opportunities at the NIH. So if you're interested, please register for that. This morning, invitation to a free professional development platform that OGAPS gives graduate students access to went out, the pd.education by Doctoralnet. So please look for that email invitation. And if you have any questions about it, just email us at GradAggies. And then we have scheduled additional free mass distributions for all graduate and professional students. We will hold one this Friday in the morning from 9 to noon, and the following Friday, September 25th, in the afternoon from 1 to 4. So that email announcement will go out tomorrow, but y'all get a special sneak peek. And I think that's all I have. So any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I know you have a lot of business on the agenda.
Dr. Schweller, I had a question.
Yes.
You were talking about some convening which different graduate heads from different universities will be attending.
Yes.
Is there a probable date for that?
So that convening is in early October for graduate deans that were accepted to that convening, and that discussion is focused solely on graduate student mental health and well-being. And from that convening, kind of a synthesis document will be created.
Yeah, because I asked so because in my part of the agenda, I will be sharing a mental health survey with the senators. So if that data is helpful to you, then we can share the data.
I mean, I would prefer, that's a very generous offer. I would prefer the attendance. I would prefer that the senators attend the town hall because this town hall is meant as a listening session for stakeholder groups, kind of in lines with the, the associate provost's job in terms to talk to and hear from the stakeholder groups. Surveys can get kind of a little, more human research kind of thing. And so we're not looking to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. That's completely fine. Yeah.
I appreciate that offer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we really do want to have like a dialogue and a conversation. And that's what we'll be sharing with the provost.
Completely fine. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions for Dr. Schweller? Okay. Doesn't sound like it. Dr. Schweller, thank you for your updates today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll now move on to Ms. Nicole Pompilio, who is the GPSG advisor, for her update.
Hi, y'all. I just wanted to inform y'all about the university's stance on striking if you're a graduate student employee. I know that Rohan sent out an email to senators about the Graduate Aggies Worker Safety Rally on Friday that happened, or Monday. It was yesterday. Yes, today's Tuesday. Sorry, y'all. It's already been a week. I just wanted to let you know that I just wanted to let you know of like sort of the laws in place and that like what your rights are, and just to keep you informed. I am in no way telling you what to do or saying you shouldn't or should go to any of these things. I just wanted you to know that that if you end up going to a sort of a rally or event and you miss your work, that the university has every right to dismiss you and or fire you according to Texas state statutes. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. And Rohan had sent that out to y'all as well, but I just wanted to sort of talk through it with you and let you know if you had any questions, you can reach out to me. But I just wanted you to be aware of that. Obviously, it's within your First Amendment right to peacefully protest and all of those things, but I just wanted you to know that that is also within Texas state laws, right? As a state employee, that they can let you go for any time if you don't attend your work. And that there have already been a couple faculty members that have been let go for that reason. And so if they're willing to fire faculty members, then they're willing to fire graduate and assistant teachers as well. So I just wanted you to be aware. I'm here to support you all, so let me know if you need any clarification on that. Again, in no way telling you what to do, just informing. Thanks, Rio.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, and by the way, if anybody does have questions for GPSG or for Nicole, then you're always welcome to email gpsg@tamu.edu, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. We will pass over executive reports because we've gone over what Utej had to say, and we will bring it over to myself. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Mr. Nathan Shelley's role in the Senate meetings as parliamentarian. He's prepared a little bit of a description of his role and what it's going to look like having him in our meetings moving forward. So I will turn it over to Nathan to share what he has to say.
Hey, everyone. So Rhea and I met on Thursday to discuss, as Rhea said, what is the role of the parliamentarian in the GPSG assembly? As everyone knows with Zoom, it's a pretty unique medium that we're working with. So what I'm going to do in a Zoom meeting will most likely change when we go back to in-person meetings. But for now, here's the things you need to know. So firstly, the parliamentarian serves as a consulting capacity. I will advise the chair, Rio, on Robert's Rules of Order and GPSG set parliamentary procedures. I am also available to members who seek advice on these matters as well. And I have a couple of examples of how both of these are going to work in a meeting. So I'm first going to start with the chair. So let's say we're debating a motion, and Senator A has already spoken once in the motion, but has been called upon to speak again before another senator has been called upon who wishes to speak. That senator who has not had a chance to speak already can stand up and say point of order. They then wait for Rio to acknowledge them, and then he'll say, state your point, and you'll say, according to GPSG parliamentary procedure, all senators must be afforded a chance to speak once before a senator can speak twice on a motion. And there's two branching decisions that can happen here. Either A, Rio can just rule on that on his own, and he can say, yes, the rule is that, or yes, you are correct, the rule is every senator must be afforded to speak. But he also can go another route where he can consult with me, and he can say, Nathan, what are the procedures? In a normal meeting, I would just casually talk to him because I'd be sitting right next to him. But in a Zoom meeting, it's going to be a little bit more clunky. He's going to have to call upon me, and I'm going to have to speak in an open forum. So what I will do is I say, Rio, in section 2, subsection 6 of the GPSG parliamentary procedures, it does say that all senators must be afforded a chance to speak once before a senator can speak twice on a motion. Rio will then take that advice and make a ruling on the point of order. I don't make a ruling, I just consult. Well, that's an important part of this. I am just a consultant. I don't make rules. I don't make rulings. That is not a part of my prerogative. Now for members, normally you'd be able to consult me at any point in person, but we're not in person. So there is a mechanism you can use when we are debating a motion to ask questions about parliamentary procedures. And what this is it's a point of parliamentary inquiry. So you use the raise hand function, Rio acknowledges you and say point of parliamentary inquiry. And what this is a request for an opinion on parliamentary procedure as it relates to the business at hand. This can be as simple as, what is the motion on the floor? You can also ask questions such as, isn't this an appropriate time to propose an amendment on a motion? You can also ask questions about GPSG rules if you're getting ready to use a point of order. Those are all appropriate things you can ask using the point of parliamentary inquiry. Rio first has to acknowledge you, and then he can ask me to answer upon it. And that's how you get access to me during a meeting. And I hope that's a good intro into how this will work. it's going to be an evolving process too. Remember with Zoom, there's nothing in this stupid book that tells you how to do a virtual meeting as a parliamentarian. So I am interpreting it as I go, and please bear with me with that. But also I want to talk about 3 more important points of my roles. It is also in my role as a parliamentarian to, as inconspicuously as possible, to alert the chair to any error in the proceedings that may affect the rights of a senator or otherwise do harm to a senator. And that's, harm sounds horrible, but it is what it says in the book. I've already done this once. How I'm doing this is I'm either going to text Rio if it's not something that needs to be like addressed right now. If it's in the assembly, normally I'd be sitting next to him and I could alert him. I'm just gonna have to kind of just talk. I'm gonna use point of order. It's not the appropriate procedure, but I don't know what to do for a Zoom meeting. Like I said, there's nowhere in this book tells you how to do virtual meetings. So I'm figuring it out. My second to last point, to assist in this, I will be helping keep track of motions for Rio. And a couple important things to remember. We can only have one main motion on the floor at any given time. And before we move on to any other motions, we have to either move that motion to table the motion, move it to committee, or vote upon that motion. The motion has to be dealt with before any other main motions can be raised. So do remember that. If you go back to that one, our emergency meetings, it was really clunky. We technically never voted on a couple of motions. And at that point, if I was parliamentarian, I would immediately jump in and say something, but I wasn't yet. So we'll just forget about that. That never happened. And finally, during meetings, I'm going to take a position of impartiality in General Assembly. And what this means, in matters relating to motions and participating in debate, I will not make any motions, nor will I participate in debate. I am going to reserve my right to vote on behalf of my department as a senator, but I won't participate in the debate, and I won't make any motions during General Assembly. I hope that gives you a brief insight to what I'll be doing. If you have any questions, I'll ask to have my email put on the meeting minutes. You're more happy to email me questions about parliamentary procedure, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. And again, I appreciate you joining the GPSG Governance Board. And I know that our meetings moving forward are going to be better. They will be smoother, they will be more ethical, and you will keep me in check because I can be a loose cannon sometimes. So this next order of business that we'll move on to is right here. I sit on the Transportation Committee, which is one of our external committees. And something that was brought up in this meeting was a proposal by our peers over at SGA. They want to rename the Cotton Bowl bus route in honor of Senator Matthew Gaines. And this is a copy of the letter here. I posted the PDF in the handouts and materials, so you can read more about this. But I'm mentioning this because if any of our senators in attendance are interested in writing a resolution in support of renaming this bus route, please let me know, and I could loop you in with the information on that. In addition, this was mentioned, I think, by Utej. There is an honor lock system that's being adopted here at the university. Some faculty members are opting in, others are not. If you want to read about this system, there is a web page here that has a lot of FAQs on it, some videos. If you have questions about that, feel free to email GPSG, and I'm sure we will learn more as time goes on. I could also pass along any questions that you have to Eric Mendoza, who's the the SGA president, and he has some information on that. Before I move on, I just want to add, if you haven't already, please fill out the attendance sheet at the top of the agenda, and also rename yourself to where you have the first letter of your committee after your name on Zoom. So if you are in the community committee, please put in parentheses C after your username. That way we can assign you when we get to committee assignments. Thank you, and I will pass it on to Rohan.
Okay. Yes, Rio, can you click on that? Yes. Yes, so for the senators, when you were filling in the application forms, there was a question which had asked you that what kind of resolution would you be interested in working on? resolutions and bills as are the GPSG Senate. They vote and debate on resolutions and bills, and that is then being brought up to the administration as a reflection of the needs of graduate and professional students. So what we have done is we have collated all the resolution ideas which you have shared with us, and this is a bank which we have prepared. As you can see from the beginning, the most sought after issue is mental health. So, and the second column is main resolution idea, and the column C, that is the key points, what key points we want to capture. So if you are interested on working or writing on any of these resolutions, please feel free. You pick up a topic, pick up a sponsor. The resolution should be sponsored either by a senator or from someone from the governance board. You may find some resolution templates in the Google Drive which was shared with you. If you have any more questions regarding this, please feel free to let me know. Moving on, we have prepared a mental health survey. Now this survey is prepared with the aim of writing a resolution. What we aim to do is we aim to capture this, the thoughts of all the graduate and professional students at A&M, and we analyze the data and then come up with a resolution. We have seen in the past that if resolutions can be backed with data, they have more effect. So this is a resolution, this is a survey which I would ask you to share with the students in your department so that we can have as many responses as we can, and we have a more efficient resolution in place. If you have any more questions on this, please feel free to let me know. Moving on, I have received a few questions from a few senators that regarding the timings of the meetings. As it was said by Rio, I guess twice or thrice in the first meeting, and I shall reiterate that yes, 5:30 to 7 is the standard time of GPSG Senate meetings. We understand that there have been a lot of changes in schedule of classes, and it might be difficult for you to attend the meetings at those times. It is highly recommended that if you are not able to attend the meetings at this time, please ask someone from your department, ask someone else from your department to represent the department instead of you. We really encourage and appreciate your passion in serving graduate and professional students, but it is no point having a department suffered in case of a class conflict. I had a few more emails from few senators regarding their ability to share the information they gather out here. This is one of the primary responsibilities of the senators, that all the information they gather here should be sent back to the department. You are free to share the agenda, the minutes, the resolutions, the bills, which we all discuss here. Even all this information is also publicly available in our website. Rio, can you move down, please?
Hello, Rohan, Margaret raised her hand.
Yes, Margaret.
Thanks, Rio. I just had a question about your mental health survey. What is your deadline in mind for us to get you responses by for our department?
I have a deadline of 15 days. So right now it's September 15th. So the deadline is September 30th.
Thank you.
15 days. Anyone else has any question on that or anything else? Okay, so one last point. If you're not receiving emails, not receiving information, if you're not seeing your name listed in the website or in the web page linked out there, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohan. We'll now move to our Vice President of University Affairs, Chandler Wilkins.
All right, thanks, Rio. All right, so I just have two main points here today. First, if you were to click on the internal committee assignments, you're able to see which committee you have been assigned to. You should have also received an email from me, also indicating which committee you're assigned to. But each tab you'll see, we have advocacy, community, and scholarship. So if you have not seen your email yet, please go look into this spreadsheet here. You'll be able to find your name pretty easily and see which committee you're a part of. Like I said, everyone should be assigned by now. I've been monitoring the Google form that we administered the last meeting. But if you have not been assigned to a committee yet, please fill out that form and I'll go ahead and get you assigned. And the last point, external committee sign-ups. So I just went through and cleaned up the spreadsheet a little bit, and we could see which committees we have left. These are all things that we have available. Again, we have the committee name, the position, what it's called, the term as in years, the meeting schedule, and the link to the committee's website, so you're able to see what that committee is actually about, and to see if you're actually interested in serving on that committee. And if you are interested, just go ahead and leave a comment in the designated fields for your name and email address. And then once you do that, I'll go through and resolve your comment and add your name to the list. Once your name is added, I'll remove your name from this list and then move it to a list, my master list that I have on my own. And then tomorrow I'll be sending out what I have so far as far as senators and their external committees. So you'll be CC'd on the email. I'll send that email to the chairperson of the designated committee, and you'll be able to see that, and you'll be able to, and they'll handle all further communication at that point.
Hey,
That's all I
Chandler,
have.
Kim raised their hand. Kim raised their hand.
Okay.
Hey, Chandler, thanks for keeping us up to date here. This is the list for what's left. What about the list for whatever we're being assigned to?
Yeah, I'm going to send that one out tomorrow, so you're able to
for
see
the
it all.
external as well? Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it all out.
Okay, sweet,
No problem.
thanks.
Anyone else? No? All right, well, that's all I have. Thank you.
Chandler, thank you for those updates. We're now going to move on to a special order of business. We have a new member in our ranks. The Chair of Student Affairs, Aaron Penton. Would you like to introduce yourself to the Senate?
Thank you, Rio. Howdy, everyone. My name is Aaron Penton. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am from the Teaching, Learning, and Culture Department within the College of Education and Human Development. This is actually my third year to serve GPSG, or as formerly known GPSC. We've evolved into GPSG. And one interesting thing I want you to know about me is I come from a long line of Aggies. I am actually the 12th member of my family to graduate from Texas A&M when I got my bachelor's degree in 2002. And that number is continuing to grow. We are currently at 19 Aggies in our family. So I can definitely tell you that we bleed maroon. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to come back and pursue my doctoral degree. I am a third-year doctoral student and enjoying every minute of it and trying to stay safe, sanitized, and sane, as I know all of you are. So I'm excited about working with each of you and really ensuring that our graduate and professional students have a voice at all times here at A&M.
Great introduction, Aaron. Thank you so much. And speak on behalf of everyone at GPSG, we are very glad to have you on our team. We'll now move over to our Legislative Affairs Chair, CJ Godkin.
Howdy, everyone. Here to remind you again, as of last time, that the election is coming up. The deadline to register to vote in the state of Texas is October 5th, 2020. Just to put some, as a qualification on what I said last time about absentee voting, in the state of Texas, you are within your rights to request an absentee ballot, but you must meet at least one of the following 4 criteria. You must be 65 years or older, be disabled, be out of the country on election day for which you are registered to vote, or you must be confined in jail and otherwise eligible to vote. Essentially, this means there are some bureaucratic obstacles to voting by mail if that is the path you want to take. If you do want to request an absentee ballot either for Brazos County or your home county where you plan on voting, I encourage you to do that sooner rather than later. That said, I also encourage you to vote to register to vote in person, either in Brazos County or wherever you will be once the election actually rolls around, in case your absentee ballot does not arrive on time, which I have heard stories of past elections where that occurred. Also on the topic of elections, if you are at all interested in becoming a voter registrar, so helping or becoming eligible to register others to vote, let me know. I have information about that process and would be happy to pass it along to you.
Great, thank you, CJ. Moving on to our programming service and recruitment chair, Paloma.
Hello, everyone. We have one event this month, and this is going to be our annual blood drive that we partnership with Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center every year. And so we'll be having it on the 24th and the 25th. Here is the flyer. And I would recommend that you sign up using those links for the 24th or 25th, but also know that walk-ins are welcome. And so those who donate will receive some free t-shirts or gifts, and also a free COVID-19 antibody testing for all successful donations. So please join us in our annual blood drive, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Paloma.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to our awards chair, RK.
Howdy, Senators. As you all are aware, like most of the conferences have gone virtual this year. So we would like to still continue supporting graduate students. So we changed our travel awards to virtual conference awards, and the fall cycle is open now. So click on the link to get more information, and the application closes on September 28th. So it's from 2 weeks from now. That's all.
Thank you, RK. And as a reminder, folks, attendance at the GPSG Senate meetings is required if you would like your department to be eligible for the Virtual Conference Award. That is important. Next, we can move on to our first committee breakout session. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and if you haven't already, make sure that you have your committee assignment letter somewhere next to your name. And we will reconvene in 20 minutes, go through the announcements, and then move to close out the meeting for the week. Bear with us on this, please.
Howdy, y'all. I still see there's a few of you that don't have your the letter of your committee next to your name, so please do that so Rio can get y'all in your breakout rooms. Thanks.
Where do we do that again?
So to be able to change your name, if you click on the square like of your screen on the 3 dots in the top right corner, if you click that, you can click rename, and then that's how you rename yourself.
Okay. What if we don't have a committee?
Chandler, are you here? He might have been already assigned. You'll have to reach out to Chandler. Let me see. Hold on. Do you not have a committee just because you...
I applied today, got in today.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. Do you have a preference? So there's advocacy, community, and scholarship. The real only differences is that scholarship are the ones that review our virtual travel awards. Community is, so scholarship is like our awards chair, and then our research and grants chair. Advocacy is our legislative affairs and student affairs chair, and then community is our programming and service chair, and then our diversity, equity, and inclusion chair. So what piques your interest?
Advocacy.
Advocacy? You got it. Will you just click on, so in the agenda, do you even have access to the agenda yet?
Yes.
Okay, so in the agenda under Chandler, there's internal committee assignments. If you click on that, I don't know if you, you can add your name onto the advocacy, your name and email and department.
Okay. I tried doing that as view only.
Okay, I will do that for you then. And then what's your department, Matthew?
If you can see the comments, I have it all there, but I'm finance. And then it's just Matthew Parrish at TAMU.
Cool. Yeah, so then if you just put A after your name, Rio will get you settled. Rio, how you doing?
Doing great, Nicole. Everybody's almost signed, and I will send a message to everybody to reconvene at 7 sharp.
Great. Any of y'all, there's still a few of you on here that I can see that haven't added the letter after your name. So let me know what's going on and we can try to help you out.
Thanks, Nicole.
You're welcome.
I'm not supposed to be in an internal committee, correct? I'm supposed to just
I
hang out.
don't think so, Nathan. I think we can just hang unless you want to be in one. I think that, I mean, you have an extra.
That'll be all right. I'll just do the parliamentarian part.
Good.
I got assigned to one, but I was like, I think we talked about this already, but yeah.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Much easier.
Anybody else having any trouble not assigned?
I haven't been assigned to one. I filled out the form later and I just checked the Google Drive.
Okay, let me see, Kate. Hold on one second. Kate, hold on one second. I'm looking at the form responses. Okay. Your preferences community committee?
Oh, okay.
Is it? That's what it looks like.
I just didn't see the second tab.
So what's your preference then?
Community is great.
Okay.
Okay, Kate, I'm gonna assign you there. Also, Kate's a Bush School student, Nicole.
That's exciting. I'm a Bush alum.
Awesome.
Are you international affairs or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome, Kate, and goodbye, Kate. I'm sending you to community.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Nicole. Actually, I would like to join the advocacy committee.
Advocacy?
Yeah.
Did you put your preferences in on the sign up sheet?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
I don't see it. I just was wondering. If not, we can add you to it.
I'm unable to add my name.
Okay, what department are you from?
Actually, I'm from the organization CEGSA,
CEGSA, what does that stand for? Forgive me.
Civil and Environmental Engineering Graduate Student Association.
So you're civil engineering?
Uh-huh.
Okay. But you're representing a specific group?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What is your committee preference? Advocacy, community, or scholarship?
Advocacy.
Advocacy?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. What is your email?
It's NIHLANIYASH@tamu.edu.
Okay, and then it's CEGSA?
CEEGSA. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, Rio. How do I pronounce it? Yash?
Yeah, Yash. That's correct.
Yash is now advocacy committee, if you can assign him to that group. Okay, there's still a few of you in here. Do you not have a committee? What's going on? Are you sitting on external?
Wait, maybe I misunderstood. I put A in because I'm an advocacy.
Oh, perfect. Okay, Rio, Nia is,
My mistake.
and then Manuela just did it. We have a couple other people. Oh, okay, so do you see a couple, let's see, Manuela, and then forgive me, the one for scholarship, Rio?
So I have the window open, but Manuela's name is not on this list. Let me close it and try again.
Oh, weird, because I can see it on the participants list.
Right, I see Manuel on the participants list, but not in the breakout rooms list.
Weird. Usually
Yeah.
you can sign straight from the participants list. At least
Here we go.
do that in the past. Yeah.
It says not joined. Let me see.
Sorry, I can't help you on the back end. I wish
No.
that both of us do it.
No, this has been really helpful. I think Manuela may be glitched or something in here.
Okay. And then there's this other one you can put on scholarship.
Might have the same problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how we troubleshot this in grad camp was to ask these people to, I don't know if y'all can hear me or if you're like out of the room or something, but to have them like leave and then come back, and it usually worked.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like they're listening because I've asked, hello, anyone? Now, wow, wild. Now we know who's listening or not.
We got him ratted out. Dr. Schweller's always listening.
No, I mean, Dr. Schweller doesn't need to be assigned any committee. So I think
Go to your room, Dr. Schweller.
this is funny though. I mean, I think I'm gonna write these names down.
Let's just start a wall of shame.
I mean, yeah.
This happens every time in my class. Every time I go to close it, like there are always like 5 or 6 stragglers who just awkwardly muted.
I feel bad.
I've been that guy in at least like 3 Zoom meetings this year.
Yeah, I think last week I had a session where I was like, okay, well, if there's no other questions, like, seriously, are you guys still there? Close it now.
So Manuela, we think is glitching, right? Poor Manuela. Oh, Manuela's gone. Bye, Manuela. Hopefully that means that they went into their breakout room.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna type out a message to the breakout rooms real quick.
Okay. And Rio, if we end up needing to give them more committee time just because of like the Zoom craziness, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Maybe not tonight, like you bring them back in and you say like, that was your first introduction.
Yeah.
But I think we can talk about it in governance board with the chairs and see like how it went and what's going on.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I hope the conversations are going well.
Me too. It's all you can hope for, right?
Hi, sorry I'm late to the party.
Very Hello.
Hello. I'm Danielle and I just submitted the preference form.
Okay. Danielle? Okay. So your preference is community?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rio?
Okay, let's see. Looking. This is Danielle.
Danielle Garrison right there, yeah.
Danielle Garrison. Oh, I don't see it. I don't see it. Ah, there we go. Okay, community.
Yes.
Okay. Goodbye, Danielle. Have fun.
Oh, who did that? Chandler? Oh, Chandler's on it. There we go.
This is fun.
It's funny because Chandler was editing this document while I was editing this document. And he did it way faster than me. And I was just like, what's happening?
I always get confused when you speak Rio because I always forget there's two of you, and I see like you're talking on your thing, and I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, yeah. I do it because, for one, this computer's old and the mic on it sucks. Also, I use my phone's data to avoid like getting disconnected and not being able to talk to everybody. That's just like an insurance thing.
That's all that makes sense. By the way, was that clear enough for everybody? Do you think was that good?
I think you did a great job.
Yeah, you did great. Nathan texted me, Nicole, when I went out of order in the agenda and skipped over to Utej, and he's just like, yeah, you needed a motion for that. Oops.
I was wondering what y'all were going to do when he told me he was going to have to head on to another meeting. But, I mean, it worked out. Now we know for the future, right?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you were fine at what you did because you are you have the power. But someone could try to call you on it if they were like cranky or something. I don't think anybody in here would, but
Yeah, somebody'd really have to care.
Yeah. I'll try to like put that in the end of the text of like, how do I just say you're fine, but also mention this?
Nah. You know, it'd be interesting if like everybody was as savvy at Parley Pro as you were. I mean, I don't know if I'd have as much fun as I do right now, but
the exact opposite. Because people know how to like be just real jerks about things like stacking amendments and making things as confusing as possible at all times.
Yeah.
And there are ways to like abuse parliamentary procedure just to be that person. And I've been in one meeting where someone was doing that. It's just not very fun.
Mm.
Like half the room knew what they were doing and half the other room didn't. And then the side of the room who knew were trying to fight back, and it just became bickering and squabbling. The poor chair was just like, stop, out of order, out of order, out of order. And it was ugly. It was a bad day.
Yeah. Oh man, that does not sound pleasant at all.
No, luckily I don't think we do anything contentious enough that people will get that upset.
Mm-hmm.
Rio, did you try to assign this person that's in here?
Yes. It's just not
going.
Just not doing it.
Okay.
No. I think I know what the problem was. So for the next meeting, it shouldn't happen.
Okay.
It'd be cool if you
But they're not responding to us. I'm emailing Rowan and Chandler just to let them know that one, it looks like she's assigned a room, so at least she's assigned a committee, but two, like reach out to her and let her know. So
Okay. Thanks for doing that. I'm gonna send a 5-minute warning soon.
You're muted. Oh.
Okay, gonna close out these rooms now. Okay, we have people filing back in. We'll get started in just a second and wrap this up. Okay, it looks like we have everybody back who's going to be coming back. Some folks snuck out, and that's a no-no. We don't want to do that. We want to stay for the rest of the meeting, if possible. Okay, so I won't go into too much detail with these. The university published a guide for sick and exposed campus members. This is relevant for the COVID environment of which we live in. Next, there's a mentoring program. So if anybody's interested in mentoring a senior undergraduate student from the TAMU class council, then please reach out to the student who is listed there with your email. Could be a good opportunity to have like a big brother, big sister kind of thing. Lastly, Utej mentioned this, the Aggieland Yearbook Committee is looking to publish some stuff. Please reach out to Kylie if you have some good research stories that you'd like to share. With that, it was a big meeting. Y'all got through it. Thank you all for staying who did. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Second.
That is awesome. Okay, let me get the hammer. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's over. Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day, Ria. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you very much.
Everybody,
Thank you.
have a good day.
Yeah. In case you haven't filled the attendance form, please do so.
Bye, guys.